What's up, you guys? Ben from BD Garage here, and today I got a really exciting video for you guys. So I just picked up some new seats off of Facebook. These are Carbo's LG1s seats, leather with the cloth like centerpiece here. And guys, I picked these up because if you guys don't know, right now the bucket seats that I'm running are these very cheap, kind of like Amazon, like universal bucket seats. And here, I'll show you guys. So they have, like, you know, the shoulder pieces they have for your waist and everything, but really they do not hold you that well. As you can see on the driver's side, the bolster pad is already breaking pretty hard, and I've only had them for maybe a year, not even. I picked them up for about $80 off of Facebook, so they were new to me seats, but they were in really good condition when I got them. And then through autocross and through, like, you know, taking back roads and all that kind of thing, I really learned that these seats were just not going to cut it anymore. So what I did was I went on Facebook, looked up, and I found these LG1 seats. And basically I'm going to walk you guys through how to install them, what the benefits are of them, and why maybe you should be, you know, spending that little extra cash on more reputable seats than just the universal ones. So let's get into it. All right, so first things first, guys, we want to make sure the seat is as back far as possible as it can go, and we want to take out these floor mats. Now, the reason I take out the floor mats is because most times it can make it easier to get to the bolts where the seat's actually held into the frame. That'll just make it easier for you guys, and it just gives you a little bit more room. And, you know, we're gonna be taking these seats out, so might as well clean the carpet and everything while we're down here. So just taking them out will just be better for you. Next, then, we will move on. We will locate, on these 05 to 09 Mustangs, there are 2 bolts in the front, and then there are 2 in the rear. These are a size 13. So we'll start by taking those out. If you have a impact, it would definitely help, but these bolts aren't very long, so you can usually just do them with a socket. All right, I grabbed the impacts because I am very impatient when it comes to these kind of things. So we've got the first one and second one. So that's first 2 are out. We'll set those there. Alrighty, so I'll just show you in the rear. There is a bolt at the top here, as you can see. And then we come across, and there's another bolt right here. Now, using the impact on this one might be a little bit bad, so gonna have to use the socket for the whole one. But if your guys' seats move up the whole way, definitely advise doing that. See, the thing is with this one, I don't know if you can see, but this hole right here, this whole line, this whole bar, this is actually the mechanism which is supposed to help move the seat forward and backward. It's not connected to anything, so that's why the seat won't move. And basically it's just gonna make it hard on me. That's about it for that. All right, guys, so the seat is ready to come out. The backs were actually 15s, and they weren't even bolts, but they just had this nut on top of them. So these are ready to come out then. So we bend the seat as far forward. Oh, I'm peeping. We bend the seat as far forward as we can, and then we basically lift it up and kind of just shimmy. We just shimmy our way out. Now, here's the thing with these carpets is this car probably has not been deep cleaned since 2008. So let me show you guys what we're working with right now. All right, guys, so this is what was under the seat. Now, I don't know exactly what it is. I don't know if somebody spilled something in here while I owned the car, before I owned the car. I'm hoping, I don't know why I'm thinking this, But ooh, monies, let's go. Add that to the budget. I don't know why, but I'm thinking or hoping that under here isn't just a lot of rust and the like residue kind of stuff is coming through, but it's sticky, which makes me, I don't know what I'm touching now. I should have gloves on, but it's sticky, which makes me just think somebody spilled like maybe coffee back here or something and never cleaned it up. So that is what this is for. The spot bot. We're gonna use that to clean the entire carpet in there while we have the sheets out, mine as well. But I will show you the end result. So if you need to see it again, here is the before. Alright guys, so I got the passenger seat out and everything, and the passenger seat actually didn't move before. So what I'm going to do, and it fit pretty well for everybody, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to see exactly where it is. So it's right here, and then I'm going to mark it. Now you might not be able to see that at all on camera, but I can see it, and that's all that matters. Do that. That. I'm assuming that these are all only like the one hole at the top, and these ones are adjustable side to side. So, but yeah, I'm gonna put them in there, and that should be pretty good. Now the driver's one did move, and because it had the rails right here, these rails are built into the seat. I thought they might have been built into the bracket. Since they're built into the seat, that means I'm not gonna be able to move forward and backward with both seats that I have now. So I need to make sure essentially that they are both where I want them to be before putting them in, or it's just gonna be a hassle. All right guys, so what we're doing here is just removing the 4 nuts off of the bracket. This is the bracket that's connected to the slider rails that are attached to the seat. It's going to be 4 nuts, and then we will take it off. There's additional spacers that are in between. We'll get those as well, but essentially we're just going to set this down and we'll clean it off and get it ready. And here we have the actual bolt that's going into the seat. We got it with a lock washer and then a regular washer behind that. This will be on the outside of the bracket, one that's closest to the floor. Then we go and we have a spacer which we will put up against the leather of the seat to make sure that the bracket does not rub that leather. This is essential because if that bracket is rubbing on the leather, it's possible that it can make it rip, tear, and you just don't want that on these brand new seats. So we'll put that spacer behind, get the bolt through and into the manufactured hole. We did actually have to change what position we had it on originally with the brackets because
these seats had different mounting points. So make sure you take that in consideration when you're buying your seats, you're buying your brackets, because I just didn't do that. And then we go over, you're gonna have to do that on all 4 sides, so make sure you don't tighten that one up as tight so that you can get your hands in between for each spacer on the other side. So we'll do that here, and essentially then you just have to do it on all 4 sides, making sure to get them as tight as you can, hand tight wise, because we do want them a little bit loose. We don't want to impact them just yet, because how it sits in the car is completely up to you. So we're going to shake the bracket a little bit just to show that you can move it around and get it adjusted to how you want it in your car.
All right, guys, so now we got the driver's side out, we got the passenger side back in, and it's time to put the driver's side in then and line it all up to make sure everything works. I think the only problem with these seats, guys, is that they're leather. Which basically means it's gonna get pretty hot in here, but that's okay. So let's continue lining this seat up. We got the driver's seat in, so we are just about to put in the bolts. Again, there's one here and one over here. Now, the thing is when you're putting these bolts in, you might have to shimmy the seat a little bit to get it to line up at first, because there's nothing holding it in. So we'll have to put it in. But also make sure when you're putting these in, make sure that you're only doing finger tight. Make sure you're not tightening up the whole way, because again, the bolts in the back aren't in yet. So if you put them in the entire way, it's going to kind of pull this seat forward a little bit, and you don't want that, because then it's going to be just harder for the backs to go. So we'll do that. So that's about, you gotta get it in there. Alright, so that one's in. Then we have the 2 in the back, which are just the nuts. We have the 2 in the back here, so this is the one on the right. Again, we're just going to hand tighten that as far as we can. This is the one on the left. If I get the focus wrong. Slide a little bit tight. So once you get the backs put on and hand tight, you can start to snug them up, and then you can come back to the front, which is what I'm doing now, and finish snugging up the front. I like to go as far as I can with my hand. Then I get the impact. Start snugging them up. And then also, I know it's an impact, but I like to put on this. If I had it, where did I put it? In here. I like to put it on the socket itself. All right, guys. Now we got both seats in. They look great, way better than the ones I had before. Definitely fit the style of the car more, and I just think they're better overall. And I'm gonna tell you guys real quick why I went with the newer seats compared to the other ones. So with the other seats, again, they were like kind of like a cheaper material. They were still like steel and cloth, but they just weren't up to quality for what you need for a track car for autocross. These ones, on the other hand, these ones have a full metal bracing the whole way down and in. They're way sturdier. Like I'm really pushing on this and I'm not moving, you know. They're better up top. So with these ones, they have positions so that you can run a 4-point harness. The other ones did, but this whole plastic bracket here actually would just continuously pop out over time. You don't want that, you know, when you're trying to be on the track. Because even while I was racing the one time, I literally was going into one of the turns and this thing flew out and I fell it on my lap. and like that's a distraction. You don't want that. So this is fully, you know, sewed in here. This is perfect compared to the other one. It just has a nice sleeker design into it. So it not only holds you more here by your stomach area, but it also holds you better up here with the shoulders. Now the other one also had these shoulder type braces, but they were more flared out, making it so that your shoulders could still move from side to side. But these ones are tighter and holding you there better in placement. Also then with the bolster pads right here and right here. Now this one is a little bit broken. I do have a replacement. That's, you know, what happens when you get stuff from Facebook. But still, I got them for cheap, so it was the upside. But essentially, the bolster pads on the side here and here will hold my legs in better. When you are racing, if your legs are kind of going side to side and you're having to use your own energy to keep you from being thrown around, that's not good. You're trying to focus on not being thrown around. You're trying to do your absolute best to basically keep yourself planted and you're not focusing on the track the entire time. This will help a lot with that. But overall, guys, I think these look perfect. If you are thinking about getting aftermarket seats, I definitely recommend them. Carbo is a very good brand, so is NRG, Recaro's, but always do what I do. Check Marketplace first, because you can never go wrong. All right, guys. Hope you guys have a great day. Peace.